Oh, welcome back to Sorare in the States. But today we're not Sorare in the States. We're Contender in the States. That's right. Long awaited episode, Contender in the States special. We're doing all things Contender this episode. Sorry for all the MLS people coming in to tune in to us talk about MLS. We'll do that later this week, probably on Thursday, if you guys want to tune into that. But today we're going especially Contender. Thomas, MLS Sorare Scout. We've been talking about Contender for a while. Zach's getting into it for the first time. Guys, how are you?
I could be better. I was close to something great, but fortunately, we'll talk about it. But I still churned a little bit of cash from that competition. I had a lot of fun, honestly. I think this is probably one of the better card releases Sorare done in a while. So MLS doesn't matter anymore. It's completely out of my memory. I didn't watch any games this weekend. They never happened. So there we go.
Fair enough. Zach?
Yeah, man, I can't really say that I was disappointed. Considering that I've never played, I don't really know these players. I did make some cash. Felt like I could have done better had I knew the team a little bit more from the collection I had. I probably would have played different guys knowing. But otherwise, dude, it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the next one, to be honest.
I agree 100%. This was really fun. I've always wanted to get into an Asian collection, and I never really did it. But this was the perfect opportunity too, because I know Thomas, you've been a big advocate for K League, J League, all that for this year. You've been digging into all that, so it was really cool to finally get into that. But yeah, let's get into the placements. How you guys did at the competition, Zach? If you want to start.
Yeah, let me share real quick. This one. Yeah, so I should be sharing now, I think.
There we go. Oh, wrong one. Let's see. There we
go.
All
right. Yeah. All right, yeah, so I ended up throwing I did terrible on the free-to-play, but, what are you going to do? Then for the J League, I had my Osaka collection. Didn't do great, which, like I said, if I had known, I would have made a few swaps. But obviously, I had basically best midfielder in the league. He came through. Didn't pick the right forward. I should have just went all Brazilian because they have a Brazilian attack, and I should have just stuck with that. But then on this side, keeper let me down, and didn't really get much else other than Mickey getting a DA there. Surprisingly, the team that I last minute that we were talking about in chat, I was like, well, I might as well get something in for the K League. So I went with the usual Jumbug boys defensively, and then picked up. God, I'm never gonna remember this dude's name. Yeah, Kim Bong Soo and Anderson Olivier for just a couple smashers, and hit $50. So way better than I thought it was going to do. So 5 in the one that I was really trying to play, and 50 in the one that was the throw-in.
Well, K-League was just an absolute. The top goalkeeper was a DMP, which was probably the only reason I managed to even get money after y'all see my lineup. But yeah, it was a really weird week, and K-League itself it can be just such a weird league at times, the way they do substitutions with players. It just occurred to me that you had Kim Bong-soo, and it's funny because he's someone I picked up for his end season for $5 last year, and he just churns. He is someone that we'll talk a little bit more about later, because he is set to go back to his home club this summer. He will no longer be at the Gimcheon team.
Yeah, no. Junbuk with that defensive stack was very nice this weekend. I know that we were talking about that a lot. Thomas, how did you do?
Well, like I said, we were close to something great. Let me go ahead and just bring up my screen. So, unfortunately, my striker got a red card and conceded a penalty and squeaked out a nice 6 points there. I think he had the 6% bonus. Let's see here. What's 6% of 6? It's not much more. So it was a little disappointing because like if I go with probably anybody else, this could have paid a lot more, but still $30, and I think I was pretty good about the prices I paid on most of these players. For example, I actually had the goalkeeper's end season card already. So what I did was whenever I bought him, I think I got him for $18, and then I just immediately sold the current end season that I got him for like a lot, maybe like $5, and that was with trading to someone else. So it kind of felt like I actually got the goalkeeper at a pretty nice discount. I already had these two players in my gallery already. It's funny. The week prior, I had just picked up a bunch of John Book players because I was looking for someone to pair well with the Kyoto forward, Elias. So I'm now the top collector of John Book. Or no, sorry, not of John Book, of Kyoto. But I do have the full collection bonus for John Book. And that's something I actually plan on using going forward. There was someone that I said, hey, I think this is a good team to have for the summer. Notoriously, they've been really good in the past. They just had a couple of rough last couple of years. This maybe could be the comeback season. And then I also went with your boy, Alex Moda. He's looking quite good too. So this was the only, I didn't have the cards for J League prior to the game week. I actually bought them over the weekend after I realized I'd become the top collector. And not too upset about that because I also used the credits I got from the weekly competition or the weekly whatever you call it. Missions. Yeah, exactly. And so I was able to kind of pick up a lot of those cards a lot cheaper. Yeah, I mean this was the free one. Yeah, I got killed with that. I think if I had gone with John Book, I actually would have done pretty well. Maybe not with him, but yeah, it was interesting. Elias, just to show where he landed in my lineup, he still turned me some cash, and it was there. He is. Yeah, these two unfortunately couldn't keep a clean sheet, but that's okay. But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I was actually pretty happy with the result. $30 for whenever I woke up and saw the 6 was kind of a nice little takeaway from something that didn't feel like it was going to be great.
No, yeah, that shows you how weird the K League is. Whenever you're seeing a 6 in the lineup and it wins $30. So yeah, you can't hate that. But
now that we've buried the lead, though, Alex, how did you do this weekend?
Yeah, no, this was like one of my best weeks on Sorare. I'll go back to it, but yeah, and surprisingly, it wasn't just K League that was really good. I'll get into that as we go, but yeah, I stacked my Anyang attack with the John Book defense, and of course with that Ulsan DNP, it basically opened the floodgates for anything that would score high to probably end up winning cash. I woke up and I saw a text from Zach, and he said, "Congrats on the jersey," and I hadn't even checked anything, and I was like, "Oh, I'm top 20," and I looked, and I think I was 18th at the time.
18, yeah.
I think I got opted down a lot of points. I don't know exactly how many, but still kept 17th. Jersey on the way, which I'm super happy about because the K League one was my favorite out of the two. And then $120 on top of that, which you can't complain about at all. Like, I'm so happy with that result. And then on the other side, I just reversed it. I went John Book attack with the Anyang defense, and that worked out. I chose the right captain over there, not on the right side. That would have been a lot better if I had captained anybody else on this side. But no, yeah, got the right captain over here and got $50 out of lineup too. So 2 top 50 finishes in the same competition. Super happy. It would have been even better if I was able to get this. I was 18th. That would have been insane. But then again, Marcelo wouldn't have got this assist if John Book keeps their clean sheet. So, it wouldn't have happened either way. And then going down even more, I won $7 from this La Liga. I got $10 and streaks from my sporting lineup. Big win on Saturday night. And then my contender guys delivered as well. My in-season contender for $5, which is kind of insane for 450 points to win $5. But
oh yeah, some of the scores this weekend are wild. I think I saw the challenger scores where people were getting 512 points and they were getting like $3.
Yeah, it's because Utrecht cooked, and a bunch of people had Utrecht stacks, and it was just whoever had the higher percentages.
Yeah, that's who I had. I only ended up getting Essence from it because I think I didn't get the striker right, and I had a decent amount of points. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I preferred the Essence. Maybe I didn't. Who cares? But yeah, it was a wild weekend. Contender is just right now because of especially the percent bonuses at this point. It's summer can't come soon enough. And just wait until Celtics are back.
Exactly. Yeah. And so overall, $192 in cash, and then add on the hot streaks, so over $200, and that's going to end up going right back into Sorare. So it doesn't really matter. And the jersey too.
Monster. That's a monster weekend, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, we were all talking about it a lot in the chat, so thanks y'all for giving me advice when I was asking questions. When that jersey comes in, I'll make sure to open it up on stream so we can check it out. But yeah, no, again, I would say the comp was a success and very fun overall. And I believe so. Thomas, when is the next one? Do you know the date?
The game week 78. Is that the 9th to the 12th or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's that game week 9 through 12.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks from now. Or 3 weeks from the comp that we just had. So yeah.
Yep. So you got time. If you're going to try and go for something else.
No, you don't want to join that comp, guys. It's really not worth it.
It's not a good comp.
You don't want any part of it. Stay away. Although you will need 5 special editions for that one.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest issue, is because for Jump Book, I don't have the 2 probably biggest hitters and at the moment. So I need to decide if I want to try and pick them up, although their cards are a lot cheaper now than they were whenever the special was going on.
Yeah. The prices we paid are a lot different today than they were last week when we were all just banging away on those auctions.
Yeah, I almost wonder if you could try and find on with one of the bots one of the cards and then just try and do a trade or something like that.
Yeah, Santonio was going hard after those, right?
Santonio was going after everything. So yeah, you could probably check and see what he's got, and maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll give me a great deal.
Pulse Camp maybe cost me streaks because he hit the stoplight. He's got the green, red, and yellow under his thing.
But, yeah, that
didn't do much, but hitting the stoplight, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that also cost me my limited streaks too with him. Got that as early. Then after that,
last week I was talking about the SKC stack. I'm like, everybody should own one. It's so cheap, and it's like a streak getter, and it really is.
Yeah, it was 9 points off, and then Portland just started giving up goals left and right, and I needed the right back to not have a bad game.
Yeah, if I hit this week again, I think it's the same point total, 385. It's $80, so I've got to lock in on that. Maybe pick up a rare to
Sean John's at home too, right?
Yeah, he's at home against New York City, who did not look great in the attack last game.
They did not.
Which didn't hit the $6 lineup streak, the second one. But we moved to the next matchup. They still have good match. That's what we're looking forward to, was just good matchups upcoming. So still got chances. But yeah, no, Sean John 2 clean sheets in 2 game weeks since I've won him. No one would have thought that would happen, but now we're here.
We really were crushing on you for winning that card and been like, that's trash.
I was the only person that was positive about it. I was like, hey, he has the best goalkeeper matches at anybody upcoming, like next 10 games.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2 straight clean sheets. And the floor is 130 now, so he's already gone $30 since I got him. If I want to sell it, I think I got an offer in ETH for like 92 the other day, and I was like, nope. I'm keeping this. Isn't mine.
No,
my Sean.
Yeah, not while the run of fixtures is good. If
they turn bad,
you can unload them when it goes bad.
Well if you hit streaks, then you've already paid for it, right? Like you've gotten that total almost.
Exactly. Yeah. If I hit streaks, then I would have $90 cash total plus going into the next one. Yeah. And Sporting has a very favorable matchup after that, so that could be not favorable. It's Sporting, so maybe not favorable, but our next matchup is LA Galaxy at home. So it bodes well. If we can get through Cincinnati and maybe score a couple of goals, the guys that I have in there could be involved. I did get Shallowy player of the match day, like he looks really good now. So, but that's enough MLS. We're talking too much MLS.
Yeah,
We got to get into the contender.
Once we get going,
this is the reverse. Usually Jorge makes us stop when we talk about contender. We get to stop talking about MLS today. But yeah, we're just gonna talk. Let's go into the next comp and what you guys are doing. Obviously Game Week 78 coming up, and they added rares today. They dropped the rares on the market. They were like, wow, this is making us so much money. Let's make even more, and plopped a bunch of rares and super rares on the market. We're victims. We're gonna get into that. What are you guys planning on doing with the rares and super rares? Probably not super rares, just with the rares.
So I don't know if I'll go for a rare team necessarily, but I do want to have an in-season contender team for the summer regardless. What that means is maybe people are discounting their cards that they don't need anymore. And I have a bunch of cards I scouted in J League to begin the season. And it's funny, I was looking as I was creating watch lists today, and quite a few of those cards are now going into the next watch list of these are the J League cards you should have. So it's nice whenever you see some stats and you say these look pretty good, we should focus on these players, and then it actually plays out the way you scouted. So I think I put together a couple ideas around if I were to build a contender in season lineup and the cost of what that would be for rare. So I think it's got me intrigued more. I think in the past I've been way put off by K-League. I will say having a service such as Predictorfy or any other lineup prediction service helps so freaking much with K-League, because you just got to have someone
that's like dialed
that can either understand, know the outlets, know where to look, because on Twitter it's just absolutely useless.
Yeah, that's why Sorare Inside, Predictorfy, those things are super helpful.
Sorare Inside.
And so having that especially, I think, makes people more. I think that's why a lot of people got into MLS is because people like us on those sites being able to provide insight, and so it goes both ways. We're looking for people to help us out, that's what gives us a reason to keep playing with knowing what's going on. If you go into something blind without being able to know week to week what's happening, not as fun. But yeah, so you said that you were going after a rare in-season team, possibly. Zach, what are you doing with this new option?
So right now I have 3 keepers, and I'm kind of just looking through my gallery right now. So I have 3 keepers. It's really hard funneling out like the collection and versus like who's real players here, So like I have 3 keepers, probably 4 defenders.
Who's the 3 keepers? Just out of curiosity, I saw something that I wanted to mentally prepare you for.
John Book,
this guy right here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome to Avispa Fukuoka goalkeeper roulette.
Yeah.
Because that's what's after I saw the 3-1 mistake leading to goal, I went, oh boy, here we go again. Murakami has been benched so many times. So be ready for it.
What I say, I need another keeper. So like 3 keepers, because I knew with rotation I probably need to find another keeper. Defenders, again, like I have some some that definitely play, and some smashers in there. Mids, kind of same thing. I have some smashers, but I could probably use like maybe one more. I'm assuming you want to go like double defender for your extra, right? Or most of the time you want to find the matchup and play double defender. It's not like MLS where you're looking for double mid to kind of like.
It's also the most cost efficient too.
And then forwards, I did not pay this price. Credits just allowed me to basically, big boy the next person, and that was that.
Nice, yeah. The card, I love I didn't get any at J League, but I love the card design. I think it's very nice.
Yeah. So like again, I have forwards, like I have enough that I could spit out 3 lineups. I have one that I would say would be like a really good lineup. The second one would be pretty good, and then the third one is just like scraps. and I'm only looking to just play in the summer. Like I obviously with Europe sort of winding down, there's no point in me picking up any of those guys. And then here's how I think. First, I end up with a whole collection of cards that I didn't really care about, and now I'm pretty excited to have them. So now here's how I find myself in my next predicament about rare. I have 7 rare essence that will never go anywhere unless I have rare cards to play. So I need to figure out how I can earn some essence. And I figure the summer might be the place where like the cards are cheap enough where I can just spit out lineups to maybe earn some essence to use this up. So yeah, like maybe get it in season. Mike, they would have done great if I knew which 5 to pick. But no, actually, they were pretty good. Like the matchup was good, and in fact, I think they have a pretty good matchup. I don't know how this is gonna like. I've never played midweeks before, so I don't know. Everything is obviously riding on Friday. He might not even play, so this might just really just crush like these studs. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think pretty much you can assume that unless he got injured, I doubt why would they rotate? They basically get an entire week off.
Yeah. So yeah, I have like these, but again, I'm going up against everybody in Contender that's going.
Because they're playing Saturday at the end, they're playing Friday night. Sorry,
yeah.
My time to, but still, like, I was looking at predictions, and I was going. I think people are thinking the rotation is going to be way heavier than it's actually going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just even having midweek plays. Like I really haven't had midweek plays ever, so this is actually kind of fun, even though I don't expect a whole lot out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think just bolstering this, kind of going through, looking for smashers, like guys that you should have if you're trying to compete, and then maybe looking at rare if rare can get cheap enough for me.
I think it depends. Are you thinking rare classic?
I mean, I guess I'd kind of want maybe how cheap can Rare Classic get? I guess is the question.
Rare Classic can be pretty cheap right now. I mean, I was pointing out a couple of players, the Kim Tae-hee Lee Tae-hee or whatever his name is. It's like a $40 difference between his in season and his rare. His classic.
Yeah, it's classic. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just run like 3 classics just to get some essence churning, just for like more lineups. More lineups seems like a lot more fun. So, I mean, I could probably pick up limited lineups for nothing too, like classics.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. But then I'm actually holding some cash to the side for limited champ next year. So I want to make sure I keep a little thing to the side here to play some champ.
Who are you going for in that?
The reason why I want to pick champ is I'm going to look for value, like not just La Liga, not just Prem, just looking for guys who will score well enough in that comp. So I don't really have a team at this moment, but you know how it goes when you just start buying a card and then you're like, well, I should just get this guy, and then you have a whole collection. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So are either of you guys going after these auctions, these rare auctions?
I think I have a couple of them starred, but I think they're all going to go for more than I want to pay.
Yeah, that's fair. I think realistically, with the winnings that I got, I think I'm going to set that as a budget to go after guys. And if I can, get 3 guys for that price, under that price, that I think can build a good team, to go after that. More specifically, Anyang and Junbook, because those are my guys now. It's mostly Anyang, but. Yep. But yeah, you're gonna try to do that. So me and Thomas both built watch lists. I mostly went specific on the Americas and those contender guys. I know Thomas, you went more Asia. Do you want to start us off with who you have in yours?
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, and then if you guys, you've been watching the show, you know that we've been into contender for a while. He's been, again, more specifically on Asia, but we talk a lot about Mexican League. We love Liga MX. So yeah, this isn't new to us. We actually know a decent amount, surprisingly. But yeah, what do we have here?
Bring it up.
I want to say shout out to Mikey B, Red or Dead. Always good to see you guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they're talking about the they're going over the new mode, which I assume we'll touch on. If we don't touch on this show, we'll touch on it on Thursday. Have you guys tried it all?
Yeah. I opened the pack.
I opened the pack and then I said, "Oh, this isn't meant for me." And I'll put my lineup in, so because I think you get some sort of submission because of rivals or whatever. If you did the rivals lineup, the new mode,
Yeah,
it's not for me. I will. My 2 cents is I can't believe they're doing these buy gems for $5. Anyone who pays that, I don't even know. Just I worry about
like you could get a legit Smasher card for a classic for $5. To pay gems to win common essence is crazy.
Do you see my window, Alex? Or
yeah, I just want to touch on this real quick from Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think people would have gone as nuts on limiteds if they knew they were going to do rares? Definitely not. I think people would have.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They built the hype train on limited only these special comps, and they like just started raising those prices of all these cards, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we're dropping super rares and rares, and we're running comps for those now too.
Yeah, but I don't think they're doing a super rare comp. I think they're just doing a rare comp. And you can submit super rares into it. Yeah. I think that's what I saw. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, maybe that's true because again they have probably an even. You want to talk about a limited market of a limited market? J and K League special designed super rares.
Yeah, it's just rare, super rare, and unique. All
yeah,
in one
it'd have to be like one card. Who's gonna buy 3 super rares?
Yeah, I guess the only reason to buy them would be because you like those guys to play an in-season super rare. Anyway, there's no real benefit to it besides that.
Exactly. Or you're zigging when everybody's zagging. Everybody's trying to get the rare version. You're like, oh, the super rare is going to be cheaper because nobody's paying attention, and you get the super rare version of the dude just to play him.
Yeah, and Reddit's getting mad at the new mode.
I think Reddit it's not meant for you. That's all you need to know.
It's meant for
you. Yeah. If you have cards already, then you've already surpassed it.
Now, there's already been rumblings that they will be putting out market creds in the new common game.
Well, they would have to. I mean, there's no reason why anyone would pay for gems if you can't win anything that's actually worth money.
I guess it's sort of like
market creds.
Yeah, it's sort of like the mobile game thing, like Clash of Clans. You buy gems to improve your base, but you're not winning anything. So I guess they're sort of looking at it that aspect, which is not that great because mostly people come on here to win stuff.
Experience.
But like, and normally that would be fine if that's what the game was. But like, you're like, oh sweet dude, my Allison common.
You know what this is?
Sheet. Look, the guy you could buy his actual card and win something with it.
You know what they're about to do though? They're about to start a huge marketing campaign to like 6-year-olds, 12-year-olds.
Yeah, like match attacks all over again, but in the digital age.
Yeah, match attacks.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Thomas, let's get into these Asian League cards that you've got. What do we have?
Yeah, so I've kind of kept it down to not too many per each position. The way I looked about this was I just kind of went through and used what we call is our soy, because we're all soy boys here. It's an index I create to help quantify where there might be some opportunity for players in terms of next fixtures, current performance, price compared to others, number of minutes played, and everything like that. And I use that along with some other metrics to kind of come up with this list of players that I think are going to be ones to watch. And to start the list off, we have Ken de Sol. And the reason why we are looking at Anyang so heavily is if we do pull up their K-League fixtures coming up, they have a lot of home games. So they play Ulsan. You'd already missed the boat here, but they have Jeju, Seoul, Daegu, coming up in the next 3 weeks. In 78, they actually play Daegu, who are one of the worst teams in the K-League right now. They're really struggling without Cecina. But he is someone that I think is really good value as well. I think for it's gone up a little bit, but for his in-season rare goalkeeper card, it was $37 earlier, $38. And then at the same time, too, the floor price for these are pretty low, although you would need the heritage card if you were going to try and play the other competition. I'm going to skip over this guy because I'll kind of come back to him in a second. But The other one is for J League. So this is the Kashiwa Ray Soul goalkeeper who was brought in, I believe, this season. So if y'all remember, Savio used to play for Kashima, and they made a sale to Urawa Reds. Yep. I think they reinvested quite a bit of that money, and they're actually second in the league right now, I believe, just below Kyoto. This is pretty wild because both Kyoto and Kashiwa were not very good last season, and they're both now leading the league. He has had a great run of form. I wish I had his advanced stats to talk about in terms of the goals minus expect or post shot expected goals, but I think by his AA, you can kind of infer how well he has been performing. They believe, I can't remember exactly what their fixture list is like coming up, so maybe I should check that out first. But yeah, so I thought they had really nice fixtures. Albirex, who are bottom of the table. Shimizu is actually the one team you do not want to play him against. I don't think any team has held a clean sheet against them all season. But then you have Fagiano Okayama, Yokohama, who are really bad this year. I mean, the fixtures aren't bad compared to the rest of the J League keepers. So they would play Fagiano Okayama, who are a very defensive team. They only if they win, it's 1-0, and that's about it. So I think that this is a great person to have. You're going to go for the J League special. And then this one, the last one, you'll notice he's a 0. But so if we look at the opportunity index right now for K-League, the top keeper is someone you should absolutely not pick up. And Alex, I don't know if you even looked at him yet. So he plays for Gimcheon. And
I've seen him.
Yeah. So do y'all know why you shouldn't pick him up?
I'm going to assume military service.
I was about to say service, yeah.
So he's in the military. He's in military service right now.
So he's going back. He's going to go back to his club.
He's going back to his club that's in the second division of K-League in the summer. So people that are paying pretty penny for him right now better get out soon. Because, he goes back to Incheon, who are top of K-League 2 right now, I believe, in this summer, just a couple of months away. So I was actually looking at who is possibly next in line to take that spot, because Gimcheon's keepers have actually been very high quality. So the other keeper that played for Gimcheon most of last year was the current one of the DC United keepers, who has obviously had the run of the ropes when it comes to the start of his MLS career, behind probably one of the worst back lines in the league. But they do produce very high quality keepers. They seem to just do very well. They're always such a weird team because they basically cycle out half their team each summer. So I think I was looking at it. It's not for sure that he's going to be the guaranteed starter, but I think there's a pretty good shot just looking at the other qualifiers when it comes to who's going to be playing for that team.
Yeah, that's good in depth. Yeah, I wouldn't have.
That's advanced info that you just gave us right there, Thomas. That's awesome for anybody who's watching and interested. That is something special right there.
Oh yeah. That'll be very helpful for people. But get rid of that one guy. Get rid of him.
I mean, first wrapping your head around that there's a military team and then half the team disappears in the summer is just a wild concept to even wrap your head around.
He's not that guy.
Let's see if you can find something.
Because if you look at his transfer market, I got his player profile brought up, or it's coming up. Although Transfermarkt, actually, let's not go here. It crashes every time I stream and I open up Transfermarkt, it just crashes everything. So I'm not gonna open it. They are the most inefficient website ever. I swear they must have 50 processes running behind the scene when you're trying to open that website up.
All right. My question now is, am I pulling the trigger with credits with this?
100%.
Okay.
With creds for the special edition? Yeah.
So $36.
Well, let me ask you this, because he wasn't starting because he was injured, right?
He was suspended,
but he is pretty much the starting keeper. Yeah, he's a
starter. He's old. He's older, but he's older. He's 36. But I think that I can. What I did last game is I just got both keepers. I just picked up both.
What's wild is that that's the same. That's basically cheaper than if you were to buy the current in-season minimum price on the secondary market. So I think that's a great deal. $37 for a starting keeper has one of the better fixtures for that game week.
Yeah, and the auction ends at midnight my time tonight, and it's at 32 already.
Yeah, so you might as well just
that's with all the all the Asian markets are asleep right now for wanting to. They're gonna wake up and see that $32. Yeah, we got to go after that. So I'm gonna grab that right now.
Yeah, go ahead and grab that. And then while you're doing that, like I want to address Red or Dead's kind of. He meant not the common game. He was talking about limited and rare and the grind of the game, and it's just not being fun. Dude, I can sympathize with that feeling because that's where I was like a month ago. And then I just kind of changed my attitude towards the game about like what I wanted to do. And I just really wanted to play. Like, that's why I'm sort of staying away from Classic, even though I can do it for so cheap. It just doesn't feel rewarding when you win that T5, and like ripping the essence for T5s. I don't ever feel bad because I'm playing for cash in the in-season. So like those rips are sort of irrelevant to me. And if you hit something good, like that's awesome. But otherwise, like I don't consider those crafted cards to be anything. I would just say if you could, like if you wanted to, hit the reset button if you want to get out of your stuff and just figure out if you want to play in-season only and which competitions you want.
Yeah, I think for me, I like to test my theories a lot. I like to see if I can quantify and actually predict well. And that's why I kind of put together these analyses and say, okay, like if I do this, I make these moves right here, will this actually work out? I think that's why I also love to learn about untapped leagues. Like I don't play any champion teams at all anymore because everyone plays those because everyone knows everything about them. I like to know the weird ass shit about Kim Cheon's keeper's about to go back to K2 and they're about to bring in this 24-year-old keeper from Seoul.
Nice. They're not doubling up on that, right, Alex? You're not getting any extra? It's not a double up event.
No, it's not a big deal. I will. Let me see if I can crack my essence now, though. I'm not going to do it on my
double up event. It would have just been wild.
No, yeah. Again. Let's see if it cracks. It's a tier 4. I'm going to see if it opens. Last time it didn't, but let's see. And I'm not opening up on my laptop because it might implode. But yeah, here we go. Let's see. You guys see it. I'm not going to look.
Well, it's crafted. 72. All right, 72. Low number. Korea.
Defender.
Oh, that's good.
Gwangju or Gang, I don't know who that is. Oh, sorry, bud.
Yeah,
that's fine. Collections.
I was about to say, like, it hit all the right things. You want to see Korea and Defender, and you get hyped. You're like, yes. Now there might be 100 sitting right behind that.
Cool. You want to move on to the Defenders?
Yeah, let's see what we got for those Asian League Defenders.
Yeah, so this is where I feel like I actually probably should have added more. And I think the point I want to make here is that we already hit on this. Doubling up with defenders, especially K-League defenders, is not a bad idea. Brought up 3 defenders I brought up, at least 3 of them I feel are pretty well known. The Kim Ju-sung, Akito Fukumori. I think I've seen Lard talk about him a couple times because he used to be a really big hitter whenever he was in J-League last. And then Kim Young-gwon, who plays for Ulsan, which is probably the most popular team out of K-League right now. But let's talk about Lee Tae-hee. He is someone who, if you look at his L5, he has 75. He is relatively cheap. If you look at his scores quite well, even when they were having a bad run of form. He plays as a right back. And I think that the biggest thing I noticed with him is, and this is my thought here, is that look at the difference between his floor price right now for his new season card versus his classic card. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean anyone's actually going to pay that right now. But realistically, that means that people are valuing him at a premium. And the last sale was like $13. And when was that, I wonder? Well, people are paying a premium. They're paying $26 for him, $27, $20.
Hopefully with credits. Hopefully with 50%.
$15. Yeah, these are all insta buys. This is the cart buy. We don't know how much this actually cost. But yeah, I think this is someone who I think I'm actually considering if I were to build out the in-season lineup, I would probably get this classic card and make it, because I think it's the most cost-efficient one potentially.
Yeah, that's exactly who I'm going for mine with the pair with Kim Dussel. I looked through my guys when these auctions first came out, and I was like, there's no reason to stray away from, you know, what I already have been going with and what worked. So I was like, yeah, just go after anything. And I was like, those are the guys that work. Those are the guys that hit. So I'm gonna do that. So yeah, I'll whenever that auction ends, I think it ends at like what 3 a.m. It's late, 4 a.m. I'm gonna put in a bid right before I go to bed. We'll see what happens.
Yep. I think the other thing I'll make about K-League is just look at the average. This is what we're looking at here is the average form against opponents. So people's average scores against opponents across the league. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Defenders just score well. And that's why I say you actually can go in a lot of different places and still find decent scoring defenders. I think it's just a matter of trying to pair it the best with whoever you choose for your midfielder forward. And I'd say probably just combine between your goalkeeper and your defender. Just do a same team or whatever. So yeah, I won't hit these. I feel like all three of these guys, the other ones are pretty well known. And I think my point here is you can't really go wrong. Well, you can go wrong, but it's hard. There's a lot of a lot of inventory here, or there's a lot of players here that you can actually pick up in your gallery and do pretty well with.
Yeah.
Any questions? Otherwise, I can go to the mids.
Yeah, let's go to mids. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, let's go to mids.
This is where it gets interesting because I feel I've mostly been talking a bit more about K-League. J-League is hard for midfielders. So I think this is why you see a premium for midfielders and J-League special. It was Lucas Fernandez, it was Savio, I think Watanabe was pretty popular, Shunta Tanaka. And after that, it's sort of just who's gonna be hot that week, and it's hard to predict. But the biggest ones that I definitely want to call out is like two you already had, right? So Fernandez and Tanaka both played very well. The other one I found funny is Jesse Lingard. I mean, he's playing well at Seoul. He kind of took a little bit of time to get acclimated to the team last season. But overall, if you're looking for someone that's actually going to have decisives and not just magnificent AA, Lingard's maybe one of your best options. The other two at the bottom are really interesting. So Kim Bong-soo, who I think was in your lineup that won you $50, right, Zach?
Yeah.
So he is headed back to Jeju, as I mentioned earlier. He is someone who he's not going to score necessarily high. He's a defensive midfielder, but this season in particular, he's just had a fantastic year when it came to his AA. The biggest question is when he goes back to his home club, does that continue? And then I think this is probably he was a hidden gem at the beginning of the season. This guy is, I mean, look at these scores so far. 69, 82, 70, 62, 63. I have his classic card, and I'm using it right now in one of my lineups. I'll show you what I got him for, because I got him here for just $7, and people were paying, because he had a midweek, but people were paying like $35 now. His card is jumping a lot now too. Part of me is like, I wish I'd bought his card, but at the same time, I wasn't trying to build an in-season contender team at that time. But this is someone who I think if you can pick up even his classic card and you're trying to think of someone for the summer to use as that fill-in for your one classic card, this might be him. He's not going to get you 100 necessarily, but a consistent 60 to 70, it's hard to pass up.
And I just want to reiterate on a point, because I think this is something that
I like that a lot.
Was tougher. Like, it was one of these transitional moments that I have to have when I'm thinking about this. Is like, obviously, because we play MLS and the hot streak requires the 5 cards, in-season cash contender just requires the 4. So you really want to find that classic like smash card sort of, or at least the one that gives you the best value proposition between in-season and classic to play, because there's no hot streak. You're not playing for that extra
and I think
thing.
I think midfielder for contender is the way to go, because I think there's a variety of forwards you can go to, both in J-League, K-League, the South American leagues. There's a lot of forwards you can actually pick up. Peru. Midfielders are kind of few and far between, I'd argue. I think that you really do have to look for someone hard to that's consistent, and if you do find someone, there's going to be a premium. And lastly, let's talk about our forwards. We'll start with my guy, Rafael Elias. So this is someone when Alex and I did our short segment, it was a Friday night something.
It was a while ago. It was during MLS.
It was a while ago. I was hyping him up. I think Hoodwink was in the chat. And I was asking Hoodwink. I was saying, "Hey, is this guy pretty good? He looks pretty good. I think I should get his." So I got his one of in the limited for like $17, which I'm feeling pretty good about at the moment. Things can always change, but he is just absolutely lighting up the J League right now. And Kyoto are top of the table. The rest of the team around him aren't necessarily hitting it out of the park. They would love to see that because now I have a Kyoto collection that I am the top collector for. But these scores are magnet. And this is funny because he was actually having great scores to begin with at the end of last year. And then they brought him in permanently because he was on loan to start that year. But the other ones I'll call out. So Leo Serra, he used to play for Osaka. He paired with Fernandez. And he was the Benteke of J League. I forget who said that, maybe Mike, where he would just miss so many big chances created. Anderson Oliveira, even though they're bottom of the table right now, he still puts up really decent scores in K League. They are very reliant on him. Jianjin Wu, who does not have a heritage card, but he is probably the best forward option when it comes to Jeonbuk. I did pick up his card. So I do have his card I need to pick up his card. I just realized that. So I do need to pick up his card if I'm going to try and use him in any end season, but I have Elias, and I think I'm going to pair Elias with Jeonbuk defense. And then Mota, who I think is just generally really good, and Taichi Hara. He's the one that's probably been creating the most chances for Elias. He's been pairing the well with him, so I think there's a good synergy that could happen between them, albeit his scores are not fantastic. And the last one, and this one is interesting because he plays for Vissel Kobe, who are the back-to-back champions, and he only just started getting his starts again. But when he does start, he generally plays pretty well. It just seems like it's all over the place when he does play. And there's a huge, $11. It's a little expensive maybe for an in-season contender card right now for forwards. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like it is. But yeah, they have a decent run of fixtures. Fagiano is pretty hard because I think they keep a lot of clean sheets, but Cerezo, Gamba, Shimizu, Tokyo even. I think these are good fixtures coming up for Kobe.
Yeah, I saw him pop up on SOI as well, or Soy, and I saw him. I was like, all these one-word guys usually aren't great. Like when I look him up, like especially for Brazilian League, and I looked at it, I was like, okay, he's actually getting a groove. But yeah, no, I like that pick.
Yeah, the only downside, I looked at his rare prices. Rare price doesn't seem like there's high inventory or high supply right now. So good luck.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I love my guy Mota. He cooked this weekend. So hoping for more big things from him. Maybe he's the next Elias. Who knows? But yeah, no, I remember that show. If you guys were there, we gave some early season contender picks, and those came through. I remember. I think you were talking about Elias. I think I talked about Paradella, and I thought how he was going to be fantastic this year. And he's like crazy now. But
he's one of the best midfielders in all of contender.
I think in all of Sorare at this point, like it's
I think you're right.
insane. Yeah, no. But yeah, is there anything else you want to touch on with the Asian League cards?
Yeah, I think the last thing is in terms of strategy. What do I feel like? I feel like especially with J League, it's not a league that you should be stacking entirely. The scores are just so all over the place. If you're playing contender, if I were to make an argument, I would say go with a K League defense and then maybe a midfielder, depending on where you get what team you're playing, maybe from that team, or even in J League, and then go with I think it froze. Go with J League forwards for that. So that's sort of my take on it. That's how I'm going to be playing with it. Jeonbuk with Kyoto for a little bit and see how that plays out.
No, I like that strategy a lot. Zach, what do you think?
I mean, the good news is I have quite a few of the guys that were already on Thomas's list, so that means I'm in a good starting position, particularly in the mid and forward spots. I had a few of those guys. The defenders, obviously, as you said, like you can't go wrong. You can go wrong, but you can't go wrong. So probably just need to grab, another one or two, depending on price. And then I just need to grab a keeper. So I'll probably be looking at those keepers to figure that out. And then, I mean, that kind of wraps up limited for me. And now I'm wondering, should I even go like anything South American? It's still summer. They still play. I don't know what to do, but we'll kind of go through your list here and see.
Yeah,
Or now I just transition to rare,
Let me convince you. Yeah. And then Jinwoo,
Yeah.
Jinwoo, the John Book guy. I'm really considering his rare. I think that would be a great pickup. Obviously,
I think I had his rare a long time ago. Whenever I tried to build like a Suwon Blue Wings team, that just completely blew up in my face and they got relegated.
Yeah, no, he's $33 rare in season, which I don't think is too bad.
I think it's a good price. And this is the last thing we were building out I was building out a team, and I was saying like, you could build this team for $110, and it was so Kim Da-sol, Lee Tae-hee, Jian Jin-woo, and then the other two were Nam Tae-hee, who plays as a cam for K-League side, and then Kong Yoon Sung, who I think is just another just quality defender that you can get for pretty cheap. And yeah, the biggest cost there was, I think, the goalkeeper
for 37.
Yeah, because I said I think in the price I'd said that the Lee Tae-hee was going to be just the $6 card.
Yeah. I mean, if he comes back down to 13, I feel like that's a no-brainer. But again, it depends. Of course, we'll see the auction tonight, and I'll be monitoring all these auctions with the Asian League cards to see what I can get. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into these South American and Mexican League cards.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure like what budget to go with. I also threw in Elias and Mota because I started off with Asian League cards, and I was like, yeah, I probably don't know enough about this. Let me get Thomas to do this. But yeah, no, we'll start with keeper. I went kind of obvious picks here, but I went the two Super Classico guys, in Marquesian and Armani. Prices are around $50 for each, but like you're gonna get really good scores out of them. South American keepers can be good, but they're also, a lot of them are very old. That's a big thing. Like Guzman at Tigres, he's like I think 37 now, and I think his contract is supposed to expire at the end of this year or at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens with him because they have one of the Mexican internationals behind him that they've been saying they want to use. So that's why I didn't throw him in here because he would have been a really good value pick. But it depends on how his contract situation is. But no, Marquesian, and then the main keeper that I use for rare in every prio every week, no brainer, is Franco Armani. Yeah, he's so good, clean sheets all the time. And yeah, that's that. I didn't really go through many budget options. I guess Jorge Brun would be an option because Rosario Central are decent defensively. He gets benched every now and then though, so we'll see about that. Whereas the other two right now, no DNP reasons to worry about DNPs at all, especially Armani. Literally plays every game. But yeah, Brun, and you can pair him with another older guy, Quintana, right here, if you want to pair up. But yeah, those would be the two main ones if you want to win good rewards and contend for top prizes. Those are the two guys that you want to go with. When it comes to defender, I went with a few. So I threw Quintana in there, and then I threw in Cuarta, just because the center back stuff at River Plate is extremely weird. The rotation is
plate roulette.
Yeah, so Quintana is the most consistent starter out of right now. It was Pizzella, Quintana, Cuarta. I had Pizzella in, obviously, and bad score. But yeah, I think the safest are these two wing backs, but they won't score as good on their day as these center backs. I would say that Paulo Diaz is probably the best. Right now, Quartz's price I don't think is too bad. I mean, 36. Like, there's such a premium for Argentinian defenders and South American, league in general. That's where I think if you were to go contender, maybe go Asian League defensive stack, just because it's much more price friendly. But you're gonna get really good scores out of you guys. I mean, look at that. That line's very nice. Rojo.
I have one thought there. I think the biggest thing you have to be careful about, especially when you're getting Asian League cards, pay close attention to the times they kick off, because I mean, let's take this week for example. A bunch of J League, K League teams kick off at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. Friday night, or 6 p.m. their time. So they're in the current game week as opposed to the next game week. And so that's the one thing that if you're trying to build teams for the weekend that are going to be Argentina and Asia, you might want to find yourself in a position where you don't have, the attackers or the defenders if your time zones are too far off for a particular game week.
Yeah, like what? I think Anyang plays, is it Friday morning? So I've got to wake up a little bit early and see the lineup prediction for that once that game kicks off. But yeah, and then this is who I've been using mostly in limited, and that's Marcos Rojo with Marquesian stacked. I won some cash with them this week, but he's been so good this year. We'll go year to date. He had 200s in a row with clearances, 3 clearances in a row. Wow. Really good AA. He played 62 minutes and still put a 60 up. So I probably would have gotten a better score. But yeah, I mean, Boca have been pretty good. They got fully minted this year after a break last year.
Are they in Libertadores or Sudamericana?
Yeah, they're in. Let me look. That's probably here.
I think it looks like they are because they were playing Valencia. Or did they get? Oh, maybe they got booted out in the.
Oh, who's
That's
the
right.
guy? It's not Driussi. Who's the other guy that went over there for MLS?
Velasco
missed a penalty that was supposed to put them through,
but the Cavani also had a really terrible miss.
Oh yeah,
it was like the worst I've ever seen.
It was like a 0.95 xG miss,
it should have been like 0.99.
Yeah, Super Clásicos this weekend though. I'll be watching that. Those games are always super fun.
That'll be fun.
But yeah, no, I Boca I think is really is both teams really. I know that's horrible to say that you like both teams, but I do like both teams. And then I went over to go ahead. You say something?
Are they in the Club World Cup?
I think River are.
I think Boca is too though, because of
Boca as well. Let me look.
I want to say they are. Because I think that's why they brought in all those new players because they're trying to soup up the team for Club World Cup.
Yeah, let me see.
Because I think this is one thing that people haven't talked about, but I kind of assume that Sorare is going to do a competition for the Club World Cup.
Oh, for sure, they're going to do something. Let's see, and I know Chelsea, who's my club, they had Leon in their group and they got booted out, which is kind of funny. Botafogo, yeah, Boca. They're in the group with Benfica, Auckland, and Bayern. And then Rivers in a group with Urwa, Monterrey, and Inter Milan. So, yeah.
I think River can make it out of that group.
I agree. So yeah, those would be those guys. And then I went with a weird one, Rosenborg. Their prices are so wild. None of those guys seemed that great for their price besides Eric Jensen.
They're all U23 and they're all smasher U23 guys.
I think I saw one of their central mid was tagged to Aston Villa this weekend, or it was just recently. Like they're scouting pretty hard. I won their U23 keeper, and he just put up a 95-point game against.
I saw that against this team. I did see that. No, his price is insane too. But yeah, no, their defensive stack's really good. This was the cheapest one, and it's like $30. So, but yeah,
they're funny.
Yeah, but then
funny team. Yeah, it's a funny team. But I mean, that's why they got minted though, because all those players are moving to the big boys, and Sorare wanted to have a piece of it, so that way they had them.
Yeah, but going into midfielder now, this is more where I can talk about my guys. We'll talk about first Jose Paradella. What a player! So fun to watch. Luckily, a lot of the Mexican games come on TUDN and Unimas, so I can watch those often, and I try to watch Paradella as much as I can because he has been so good this year. A decisive in basically almost every game this year.
That's absolutely insane.
8 goals, 7 assists.
These are huge level scores.
Yeah,
he has to be number one.
Yeah, I mean, even with negative 20 AA, he was still able to pull a 60.
Well, he got a decisive.
Exactly. Like he's gonna put it together. Even with three goals, he only got involved in one.
What was he doing? Just missing every chance he took.
Probably. Let me look. No BCMs. Possession.
No BCMs.
Just couldn't keep possession.
33 times lost it.
Yeah, couldn't win duels. Just couldn't get it done.
No, yeah. Paradella, I think that Canales had the crown for a while for best midfielder in League MX. I think Paradella's taking it with all the shenanigans that's happening at Monterrey right now.
What is the latest word with Canales? I have no idea what to even make of it. It's just people that are just tinfoil hatting and saying the club is out to ruin him or something.
He has to play this weekend. It's a playoff. Surely he plays. Like, it's a game against Pachuca. It's a big game. They've shown him like working out. They've shown photos of him working out. I assume he's going to play. But basically, Zach, you probably don't know, but he got into an argument with the head coach, Dimichelis, who's an old City player, if you remember that name.
Former River manager.
Yeah, and so he left River after they crashed out of a couple of competitions, went over to Rayados, and apparently they got into like a shoving argument, and then Canales walked away frustrated, kicked glass, and cut his leg up. And so they've been coming up with phony injuries for him to.
Is that actually what happened? I didn't realize that.
That's what all the that's what they're saying is that he kicked glass. They said that was what's why, and then he popped up on the injury report, and they said he had like 17 stitches or something like that. Yeah, and then Red or Dead again chiming in with the same thing. Yeah.
Let me tell you, man, Liga MX has the best storylines, though. I gotta give it to him.
That's because the novellas, dude. They know where to get the storylines from.
Tigres is still my favorite. I want them to win so bad because I think that'd be so funny.
Freaking Guzman shining the laser pointer in someone's eye, and
Malagone, yeah.
God, it's just you just can't make it up.
Yeah, my favorite one is Tigres this year. Their center back Guido Pizarro. They fired their coach halfway through the season, and then he retired from football, and now he's their head coach. And they've like lost one game since he's been head coach, and have been in the best form they've been in a while.
The only game was whenever they lost to Vancouver, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so now they play Necaxa in the first round, which is actually a really bad draw for Necaxa because they've been so hot. But like teams like Monterrey and Pachuca have been really bad like form, so they ended up in the playoffs. So that but yeah, Paradella. Canales I threw in there just because he's when he's not kicking doors, he tends to score pretty well. Similar stats to Paradella, but he's done it in however many less starts.
So I'll add here too is that so I do something called nearest neighbors analysis, where basically I take it's sort of creating these like statistical who are closest to what players, and whenever. So Canales is actually one of the closest players to Rodri, and the style of play as well as the types of stats he puts up on a weekly basis, which I thought was really interesting, and also it made me immediately pick him up.
Yeah, I remember. I think you picked him up and you texted me. I'm like, yeah, this is a great pickup, and he's been killing it ever since.
Yeah.
I remember I was really going in to try to get a rare before the season started, and I got one right before, and then it's probably spiked up right after that because he started off with 3 games like this.
That were like hundreds.
But yeah, Canales, again, I know you can use one. If you're going to go in season, you can use one classic. I think Paradella right now should be your first choice just because there's so many things around Canales that you don't know.
Well,
but if Canales, if you can get
there is no in-season Canales, so you have to use classic for him.
Well, again, yeah. And then Paradella, there is in-season right now. We don't know how long those will last. I assume, you get them through the playoff, which, it's, a couple of games, not really worth it. But yeah, and then Brunetta, again, Tigres, been so good. I've captained him a couple times. He was in whenever I got 8th and won a star reward. That was when he had this game with 2 decisives. This game with 1 decisive, sorry. So yeah, he's incredible as well. And then this one from Argentina, this is what people really rate as like the best young.
You pulled the screen down, just so.
Oh yeah, they say that this guy is the best young number 10 in the world right now.
I've been hearing a lot of hype about him.
People really love him. He's 17, plays for River, and people really, really love him. So he's just getting into his starts now, but a lot of hype for him. And so yeah, hopefully it's justified. Hopefully he starts to play well. He was even getting minutes last year when he was 16, so that really shows you how much faith they have in him. But yeah, if you go online, Google his name on Twitter or wherever, people are talking about how good he is. So yeah, he's super expensive though, but that's the thing.
That's to be expected.
Really expensive. Yeah, and then reddited. Yeah, Pizarro. I love with the Linez at the left wing back is so progressive. Like they're so much more attacking, in the build up and all that. And yeah, Goriran scored twice I think last weekend. So he has been doing well. And then moving into forwards, we'll make this one quick. But I went Elias and Mota. Obviously.
Whoa, hold on. You're treading on my ground there, brother.
Yeah, I was, and then I sent the message in chat. But yeah, I got Adrian Martinez in here. He can peak really well. He can score. He can stack decisives pretty well too. Racing Club has been in good form. I don't know if you saw your Atlanta boy Santiago Sosa has been scoring really well for them. And there's not many options for Argentinian forwards, so he's kind of one of the better ones. And then the other one who I actually own in limited is Carlos Palacios. And he's been doing pretty good this year. Whenever those auctions came out, he was one of the hotter, commodities because he came off this at the end of the year. And so we were like, oh, this guy. Cool down to start. Price went down. Scoop up at, I think, like $6 or whatever I got him at. $8. Now he's back up. But yeah, I really like him. His rare is kind of expensive too. But then again, there's a really big premium for Argentinian, bigger club guys. But yeah.
I'll throw one on your radar. He doesn't have an in-season card. He plays in Peru.
Oh, so I know. I think I know what you're about to talk about. Yeah,
Carlos Garces.
Yeah, Carlos Garces. Yeah.
Yeah. He's someone that popped up on Soy, and that's why I picked him up. Holy crap! His classic card is only. Hold on.
I won't pull him up yet.
I have to go somewhere real quick.
Hold on, I'm looking this up too. One moment.
That's really tempting. Although you got a red card last game, so I can wait.
No, but now's the time to drop in, dude.
Now's the time to drop in. Is this our God, how many?
You looking reds or yellows?
They take a big break. And I need to remember when that is coming. But he's also playing.
He stacked decisives in the same game. He got a red card.
Yeah, he got a red card like the very end. I think it must have ball must have broke out or something.
Yeah, they take a break when? No, they don't. They don't take a break. I don't. Well, I guess after game week 88. But that's the end of their season. You still get like 12 games. Can I show him?
Yeah, you can show him. I don't think anyone's gonna scoop him from under me.
I saw him pop out on Soy too, but Carlos Garces, he's $3 and he puts up very good scores. His rare is I think like $10, but no, he can stack decisives. He can get some AA even as a striker. Their team can kill teams, as you can see. And Peru's never been minted ever, so you're kind of just like luck of the draw that he has gone to Peru.
Well, no, they did. That is Peru has been minted because it's Cienciano that is the team he plays for still, and he's with the same team. So they
this is when they did those. Yeah, I remember this because
this is back when they
first LDU Quito got minted. I do remember that. Okay.
Well, that's Ecuador.
Who am I thinking of then? Who does Riveros play for?
You're thinking of Universitario. Yep. Yeah. So. Because there was this one guy at Universitario that was one of the best players in the game. I forget his name, and he tore his ACL. But yeah, you have to look because I think I have a decent number of forwards because I have Depay, but it's just really hard to predict when he's going to play right now because they're just playing so many matches. And I know Brazil, most of the players play a lot of matches. I mean, Alan Patrick's played like 6 matches and 6 game weeks in a row or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just always like, he's got to not play. Like, he's got to get rested. This guy's 30, his late 30s, I think.
Ukraine.
He just keeps on playing. So, I think I'll have to evaluate if I actually need him before I bring him in. But knowing that he's a good price, and hopefully no one's going to jump the gambit. If they do, well, whatever.
Yeah. For price-wise, I think this is definitely a good way to go. Rosario is definitely on the cheaper end of Argentinian clubs, so I like that a lot. Right or dead. But yeah, no, Alan Patrick's been crazy this year too. I think his L5 is a little bit too high for how he's been, even though he's been really good.
No
but
way. Guess. By the way, speak of the freaking devil. Guess who's starting tonight? How many games in a row now? How many game weeks in a row? Hold on.
Well, he did DNP game week 70.
That's right. He did rest a week. He has played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the last 7 game weeks. Now 7 out of the last 8 game weeks.
That's real.
That's unreal, dude.
Yeah, that's wild.
How does he do it? What is he on? What is he drinking?
He's drinking the Ukraine Alan Patrick. Best card in the game.
All that vodka, man. Just brought it back.
If you don't know what we're talking about, the only cards of his are basically almost all of his cards are special edition Ukraine cards because he was a Shakhtar when he got minted.
Yep.
So yeah. But yeah, what do you think, Zach?
Yeah, so I don't know. I may stay away from South America just because I'm already sitting on a decent amount of J and K for the summer. But listen, dude, you never know what I'm going to do. I just throw things in the chat one day, and I'm like, so I got this thing, and then we just go from there.
So I bought the whole Boca collection.
Yeah, so things like that happen.
I just bought the classic Cienciano collection.
That's next.
I mean, that dude for $10 in rares certainly got me interested. But then I'm like, oh, is he going to be the classic card? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about South America. Like, none of Brazil is minted this season. So, like, you have to go to Argentina, basically, is the only place you can go for in-season. And those prices are inflated because people are big fans of that club.
Yeah, so I might just stick with J and K for this summer and then just try to grind out some cash.
Maybe think about possibly picking up a Mexican League one of those good Mexican League midfielders, though, is that extra card. That would be really good. Like a Paradella, throw him as a captain, could be very, very good. But again, they're going into playoff now, so you got to wait for the season to start in the summer. And they said they're playing through Leagues Cup. And I don't think Necaxa are in Leagues Cup this year. Let me look. Actually, they might be. I don't know how many teams there are. The schedule dropped. Also, I think I'm going to New York for SummerSlam, and I think I want to go to Toluca versus NYCFC at Yankee.
That'll be fun
to see Paulinho.
Yeah, man. There's a chance I'll go to a Monterrey game this summer. My wife and I are talking about doing a trip to Mexico.
Don't kick any glass, dude. You get hurt. Glass down there hurts. Necaxa Easter.
I think we had a question from Ian. I think the answer is to get a tier 1. I don't think there's any specific. I assume the premium boxes are what came from Rivals because boxes don't give cards anymore.
Yeah,
Rivals is done. So I mean, the odds were.
No, there's the premium box. The premium boxes are the ones that they give out for like special comps.
Oh well, that's just Essence now, right?
No, I think there's a percent chance of cards too. I'll pull it up.
Oh, is there? Yeah, pull it up because I thought it was just Essence now at this point, but yeah, maybe there is. I mean, the chances though, still for tier 1
and K League, it's gonna be.
That's a tough pull. I will say that.
What's it called? It's in the Strikers special that's happening next week. Which I will say, like how I've been playing, I really I might start going into specials and prioing that because the cash prizes are so much nicer, and some people tend to forget about them. They just throw their extra lineup in there. That's what I did with my sporting lineup.
I'm just seeing Essence.
Yeah, I am seeing Essence too. Limited premium. Is there other ones? No, it's just all limited premium boxes.
Yeah, it's
limited light boxes are also Essence too.
So the chance of getting a K League player from a premium box are 0. But you get
Rivals. Yeah, a Rivals box. Okay, he's talking about the Rival.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything assigned to the percent chance of what league it would come from. I think it's just straight up the odds of whatever tier 1.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most people have been pulling tickets out of their boxes today.
Same, dude. Yeah. Where they just disappear, right? They're into the abyss.
No, it still shows that you have tickets.
You can
go to Rivals.
Trade them into gems.
If you go down, under the play, if you go on the play or like the home screen, and then scroll down on the bottom right, it still says Rivals. You can click it. And
are the tickets going to go where my So Coins went? Do they go into the same spot?
Oh, dude, I burnt those coins hoping for.
I did too. The giveaways.
Well, no, you were buying a chance at a chance with the coins.
I think I got a hat. Here it is. Here's your so coins, guys.
There you go. I have that same hat. I just didn't bring it with me. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere. That's such a long bill. I don't know if the camera is what's making the bill look longer. It's just the bill is long. No, it's standard. Yeah. No, but yeah.
Good.
So,
but yeah, actually, the idea of maybe running like the midfielder play, that's actually interesting. That might be definitely something I like, because like after the next K-League, J-League special, it really doesn't matter. You're just looking to put your best lineup together. So, but man, that special was fun. I really hope they do stuff like this, like going forward. I think it feels like an MLS one is coming. It feels like an MLS one is coming.
They're probably going to do, you know how they did with Bundesliga and they're doing with Premier League this weekend, where it's each club has a competition. I assume they're going to do that for MLS at some point this season. And hey, all those sporting people, back off. All right, it's my time. I think the winner I don't know what the winner gets for all these. I think it might be a jersey, but I have to look.
The winner of the Atlanta one just gets more disappointment.
You get a limited Brooks Lennon, and you get to trade.
Here's the funniest thing. Here's the funniest thing, dude. We have been so high on Atlanta, and it's so funny that Thomas is the first one to abandon ship, and we're all still high on him.
I actually didn't watch this weekend, but I just saw a tweet from the Nashville reporter, and he was like, "That the Atlanta goal that we gave up was like one of the worst goals ever given up." Is what he's saying. I'm like, yeah, like because we keep on playing certain defenders who cannot send a cross in if their life depended on it, or if they do it. It's like the way I equate is that a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Where it's like you send enough crosses in, eventually one's just going to land somewhere. And there's that's kind of the equivalent of how whenever the ball's being crossed in from the right side feels like right now.
Hey, we're 2 points off you. We're coming for you. We're coming for you now. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Hey, listen, SKC getting a new manager bump still.
Yeah, still.
Manager bump still.
And I don't think it's the manager. I really don't think it's the manager. I think it's just something's in the water or something like that. Like
the mindset, like all the interviews.
I think it's the mindset. I think it's just the mindset of some of these players now. I'm just like, get out, dude. Like if you're just all you're here to do is cash a paycheck. Now we're on to the MLS train. You got me ranting, but I'll hop off my soapbox and save it for later this week.
Yeah.
No.
We'll have to hold it.
Table's looking weird though. Austin in second, Minnesota in third. Like that's very weird.
Vancouver in first is such the weird. I mean, I love it because I even said it in my little threads. I said I hope I'm wrong about Vancouver because I love watching them. And yeah, they're in first.
I don't think I can name one person that had their predictions at this point to be this would be the Western Conference table.
Like I thought Minnesota would be pretty high up. Seattle surprising. Galaxy, dear God.
LAFC is surprising. Seattle surprising. The Galaxy we thought would be bad, not this bad. Like this is a new low that even we didn't imagine.
Look what I pulled.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, Peck.
Little gold auto.
Nice.
Love to see it. Yeah, he's ass now though, so it doesn't really matter. On the eastern side. This is our MLS segment. Don't worry, we're about to finish.
Yeah. So I would just we can just say this. You could really pinpoint how important Ricky is to that team and to the league. Like he should have been MVP if he wasn't MVP. He wasn't, right? Messi got it, didn't he?
Yeah. Messi got it with like 19 games played.
Yeah. Do you see how important that one player actually is to a team? Like it is night and day.
I think too, I think this is one rule I'd like to see MLS put in is if you lose a designated player, give them some, like they get some money back to spend, but give them something where they can do a loan or anything.
A loan. It has to be a loan, and it can be outside of the salary cap. I think that would be like
I think one that's loan what you gotta do because it completely just fucks your team. It really does, and it really it's unfortunate, right? It's like, what do you do? And it's just like, well, sorry, now you got to play without one of the best players to ever play in this league. And
you
get Zonka though.
You got Zonka.
Got a red card. Dogso.
Boy, They should have been listening. I mean, not that the PEC offers are going to be any lower, but I don't know if they were getting offers for him last year. But man, they should have listened and just taken the cash when it was.
I think they'll still get some offers this summer.
I think they'll still get some money.
Do you think he goes for the Club World Cup? Some Brazilian team maybe tries to snag him up. I can see like
maybe Botafogo, like the owner of Botafogo, does what he did with Almada. He's like, come and play for Botafogo. And
some dude quote tweets him. Isn't that what happened with Almada?
Some guy was like, you should look at Almada. He's good. And the owner Textor was like, okay, I'll do that.
And then he did it. And now he's at Lyon scoring free kicks against Man United.
And also giving up goals too.
Yeah, that game was crazy. But yeah, anything else we want to touch on before we go? Zach, Thomas, any contenders?
No, I think this was good. Anybody in chat, you like this contender content? Do you want to see some more of it?
You will see more of it, hopefully. Especially, I think we'll probably do a separate show going into the next week of the special, whenever that happens. I think that's in 2 weeks.
For sure.
We'll do a special show going over what we are doing. We're going to stream at 4:30 a.m., so you have to wake up for it to be able to know what we're doing so you can win money.
Dude, if you want to do a watch along at like 2 a.m, I'm in.
I was so down because it hit 2:30 and the match kicked off and I was like, I'm going to bed because I'm not trying to get spoiled. I want to wake up and see what happens. Like I'd almost stayed
like
up.
Christmas, man. That's what I like about Asia too, is you wake up and it's either Christmas or you got coal.
You got a 6.
You got a 6.
Before we go, Red or Dead dropping a name in there, Savarino. Are we talking about former RSL Savarino?
Yeah, I assume so. He's a good player.
He's been very good, especially as of recent. Again, not minted for in season, but yeah, he's been getting some AA along with some decisives. This is what he did in MLS too. He would do very similar, but he's just doing it more frequently over in Brazil. Yeah, if we go to RSL, I remember my first ever big finish was my lineup was Savarino, Pablo Ruiz, Chicho Arango, Zach McMath, and Justin Glad. RSL stack.
Wow.
It feels like so long ago, but it was like mid 2023. I don't know exactly when it was. It was this one, I think. Yeah, Pablo Ruiz 100, Justin Glad, Zach. Yeah, this is exactly the game. Shout out Jorge, not here with us. He's attending to Pittsburgh right now, Mayor of Pittsburgh. But yeah, so contender in the States, successful special. Successful weekend and successful scouting. Hopefully we can come with more of these shows, talk about contender more as Zach gets into it. Me and Thomas will stay into it, if not more into it. But yeah, if you guys want to see more of this type of content when it comes to, non-MLS, I know we've been doing Footyum in the States. Hopefully new episode soon on Footyum in the States. Check that out. Yeah, how many champions did we have out of the group chat? Did we get 4 for 4?
Did Jorge win?
Jorge, I think, locked up. I'm locked. I'm losing right now, but this is the last game, and I already had first locked up. But it sucks. I'm not going to go undefeated, which is.
And then Chris won. I think he was in the group chat talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 for 4 on champs.
Wait! Can we tie it? Oh, no, come on! There's
the Footyum streets are calling.
I just don't want to lose. I just want to go undefeated.
Not Centurions, Invincibles.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Red or Dead was very active in the chat, so shout out to him. Yeah, just let us know if you want to see more content like this. We're going to win all the cash every weekend. There's no thing for anybody.
Yeah.